everybody, my name's Lindy Smith, and as many of you might know, I've recently published this book. It's my one-tier party cake book. It's having some fantastic reviews, but what I'm learning more than anything else is people love the stories behind the cake. So today I brought my wonderful friend Jill along, and we're going to have a little talk about the cake that you see in front of us, which immortalises Jill in sugar. Thank you, Jill, for agreeing to do this.
You're welcome, Lindy. This is great fun, and I was more than a little surprised when you told me I was going to appear on a cake, because that is a definite first in my life. I've never been immortalised in sugar.
I don't think many people have they really?
No. And it just brings back so many memories of our wonderful trip to Venice.
Which, of course, is where this cake started.
Indeed, indeed. It was just a wonderful trip, and was it the first time we went abroad together?
It was, because we've been doing photography holidays.
Yes.
And this was the first time that we'd been away, there's three of us.
Yes.
And we went to Venice.
Yes.
And in October.
Yes.
Beautiful month, the lighting was fantastic. And we had a fantastic time.
We did. And Elaine, who came with us, who is also immortalised on the cake, we just got along really well. We had fantastic weather to start with, then it got a little wet, hence the cake. But the photography in Venice is just amazing. We'd all wanted to go there, hadn't we, for so long, and this opportunity came up to join this group, and how lovely to be able to go with friends.
It was just amazing, wasn't it? We had such a laugh, and we got some fantastic shots from the photography as well.
It's hard to get bad shots in Venice, isn't it?
Very true, very true.
But I think, I for one learned an awful lot on the course about taking
I did night
photographs.
photography, which I hadn't done,
Yes.
and street photography I hadn't
Long
done.
exposure.
Yeah, and there was the gondolas bobbing up and down.
Yes, yes. No, that was excellent.
But the day that it rained, that was hard to take photos. It was the first day before we'd had any tuition.
That's right.
And it was, the heavens opened and there were just puddles and everyone was under umbrellas and, I remember sheltering in a church. Do you remember when
That's
it was
right.
that really heavy
Yes.
downpour?
And we thought, is this what it's going to be like for 3 days, 4 days? Because the course was 3 days, wasn't it? And then we had the extra 1 or 2 days afterwards.
I can't remember exactly.
Because we opted to stay on, didn't we, for a couple of extra nights. So because we knew that there would be a lot there that we wanted to photograph.
We did.
It turned out that there was, because I don't think I've walked so far around a town or a city as you can there. And it was just so amazing because I'd never, although I'd heard about Venice and I knew it was all canals and I knew there were no cars, I just couldn't get my head around all the water and seeing all the boats that were delivering Amazon and collecting the rubbish.
That's right.
Everything is on boats, and even, the emergency services. And the fact that there's no cars, you get this wonderful serenity, don't you? Because you've got no traffic noise. Well, I say no pollution, because there is pollution from the boats. But just the noise of the boat engines as opposed to traffic noise is just different.
We stayed right in the centre. We could walk out into St Mark's Square at night.
That's right.
And it was
yes.
really magical.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
The umbrellas that I put on the cake were from the second day when we went to Burano.
That's right.
Which was stunning.
Well, talk about impact of colour. All these brightly coloured houses. It was an amazingly bright, sunny day. The sky was a deep azure blue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I remember getting off the boat and I was blinking because it was bright and all these colours, and they're really intense colours. They don't do pastel pink and primrose yellow, do they?
No.
Yeah, burnt orange and deep emerald greens and scarlets and crimsons. One after the other.
And all next door to each other, so you had contrasting colours, didn't you? One after the other,
yes.
after the other.
It was a challenge photography-wise because of the sharp shadows, wasn't it?
It was.
Bright sun on one side and deep shadow on the other, so a bit tricky exposure-wise. And the fact that you could just wander around, it was quite early in the day, so there weren't too many people around, so it was quite easy to get pictures without people.
And there were lots of wonderful little streets. I remember finding,
Yes.
we saw an artist painting, do you remember?
Yes, yes.
And he was in this amazing sort of terracottas and cream background, and he got his boater on, and it was just
yes.
idyllic. It was just
Yes.
incredible.
Yes, it was all staged, I think, to make it look like you wanted to photograph him, and then when we tried to, he told us not to.
Right.
But wasn't that where you first saw all the colourful umbrellas?
Yes, it was.
Yes,
And they were all
that are
hanging
in the book.
They're in the book.
Yes.
They're all hanging
Mm.
out to dry. So they had them all
Yes.
hooked over their shutters on the
I know,
the
it was
outsides of their
really
houses.
clever.
And they were everywhere.
Yes.
And I went round, it became a theme, photographing umbrellas.
Well, I think we all took the photograph of the colourful umbrella on the
we
bicycle.
did. Yeah, we did.
Because it was just, it almost looked as if it was set up. But I think maybe it had rained the night before and people were literally drying their
Because
umbrellas.
that one was, you went over a bridge, didn't you, over one of the major
Yes.
canals.
Yes.
So everybody was stopping and taking photographs of it.
That's
and it just
right.
looked stunning. As you can see in the book.
Absolutely, yeah. I've got that picture exactly the same as you
I
have.
think everybody on that bridge took that picture, didn't they?
Because it almost, that picture, it summarises really in one photograph what Burano was all about. Bright colours, sunshine, and general glee.
I just remember being so delighted walking through those streets. As a person that loves colour,
Yes.
it just lit my imagination.
That's
and it
right.
was just, I would recommend going to anybody. It was just
Absolutely.
absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Really loved
amazing.
it.
Yeah.
So should we move on to St Mark's Square? Because that is where this
Yes.
cake really came alive.
Yes. I didn't know about St Mark's Square flooding when it rained heavily and when there was a high tide. Not that it comes over the edge of the canal, but that it comes up through the drains.
We saw it all bubbling up, didn't we?
And you think, ooh, that's a bit worrying. And then they have these raised portable platforms that they put up so you can cross it without getting wet. And they also, don't they issue you with these sort of shoe coverings?
They did. They had these plastic coverings, didn't
Yes,
they?
that you can put on over your shoes because it gets quite deep, doesn't it?
It does, up to the knees of
Yes,
some people,
yes,
yes.
Yes. So in some places you really can't walk across it. It's not a question of just getting slightly damp. It's immersion, isn't it? And I think it had rained. Maybe it had rained all night, and it was raining during the day a bit. But there were lots of puddles because weren't we there photographing
We did it
reflection?
twice. It was all to do with the high tide, wasn't it? The first day it was just a little bit of water, and the second day we went, there was a lot more water, and we were doing reflections.
Yes.
And I've got some gorgeous reflection shots.
Yes.
I know you have
yes.
too.
Yes. Yes, because you got the reflections of the people and the buildings and these lovely leading lines.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I remember the pigeons were in the water, and you get these ripples, and all the buildings, all the lines just sort of wiggle. These lovely wiggly reflections, just gorgeous.
That's right. Yeah, that was fantastic. Yes. And I remember Elaine and I were on one side of the square and you were on the other.
I was with the main group, I remember. I remember that our leader was behind me. And somehow or other we'd gone off and done shots, I think, separately.
I think we must have said, oh look, there's Lindy over there. Let's go over and catch up with her. And then we both looked at each other and we said, Morecambe and Wise. And we, I have no idea, but we literally both said it at the same time. And we both knew what to do. And so we set off doing this across the square. I don't know what everybody thought. And you took this photograph of of us with St Mark's
I actually
behind.
took 3 photos. I've got ones where you're in focus and you can see you, but it's blown out in the background. And then obviously the one that's in the book is
The silhouette.
You're as a silhouette. So I did manage to do 3 different exposures on you, and it's the
That's really
silhouette.
impressive to be able to get it together because it was absolutely not staged. It was just impulse of the moment to just go and do this. And what I love about what you've done with the cake is you've combined you've combined 3 things because you've done the Morecambe and Wise attitude, you've done the rain that caused all the puddles in the first place, and then you've brought in the umbrellas from Burano and put them all together, which is, well, that's just what you do in your fantastic imagination and creativity, to put all those things together. I guess it would have been a bit difficult to put St Mark's in the background. Although I'm sure you could do St Mark's.
I could have done
Basilica
it, but I think...
in Sugarcroft, but that would have been a challenge, and maybe would have taken away from the...
I also think when I'm designing cakes, they've got to be relevant for as many people as possible.
Yes.
If I put St Mark's in there, not everyone's been to St Mark's, have they?
No.
Even though they might want to go, it's
yes.
not. It makes it harder.
Yes.
The idea of the cake is they're doable. Anyone can try.
Yes, and everyone's splashed in puddles, haven't
Yeah,
they?
exactly. We've all danced in the rain.
I'm not sure people have done Morecambe and Wise attitudes across a public place.
No. I don't think
Where there were
many-
literally hundreds of people.
Probably thousands, Jill, I think.
Oh dear. And I don't know what the pigeons made of it, but we had a laugh and we
did.
enjoyed it.
We
and
had a fantastic time, didn't
yeah,
we?
yeah.
And we're going somewhere again soon.
We are.
Well, we should have been there.
We should have been in Morocco
We should.
right now, I think, in October. And it's got postponed, like everything else this year. But it's scheduled for next October.
It is.
Now, I can see all sorts of opportunities for cakes with camels and dunes and
Colours and
bazaars
bazaars
and spices.
Oh.
And,
There's
yeah,
bound to be a cake. I mean, many places I go turn into cake, and I think Morocco has to be one of those.
I would say so, yes.
Whether Jill will appear in it, I don't know yet. We'll have to see. Jill on a camel.
Oh, a belly dancer.
Who knows? But
Who knows?
Who knows? But we've got that to look forward to.
We
haven't
have indeed.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much, Jill, for sharing your story with everyone. It's been lovely chatting, as always, of course. And I look very much forward to next year.
Lovely. So do I, Lindy. Thank you very much.